Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen. Allincrypto here, and welcome back, guys, for another daily cryptocurrency market update. Usually every single day at 1 p.m. UK time, we drop an update just like this one to help you guys stay up to date with the latest and greatest happening within the crypto space, but also the broader markets. And as we are moving towards the festive period, we are a little bit later on our video today. And a quick announcement: we will be taking the next 3 days off, so Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day, and then we'll be back to business. And we're very excited for 2024. 2024, given everything that we've looked at across the markets, not just crypto, and not just technically, also fundamentally, is setting up to be an amazing year for the crypto space. We are anticipating a full-blown bull run that we have been positioning for this year, and this year has quite frankly been amazing. It's been amazing for me as a person. It's been amazing for me as a business, and it's been amazing for me as an investor and trader. It's been a fantastic year. We've interviewed some of the biggest names in blockchain, and we've also done very well from a financial point of view this year when there was a lot of uncertainty, and hopefully you guys that follow the channel daily have done the same thing, and I know my Patreons have, as I've had a sort of end of year one-to-one call with them in regards to how this year and generally their participation in the group has gone, and there's been no bad feedback so far, and I think everyone's very happy. So it's been a simply amazing year. And I wanted this video, as it's the last one we do for a few days, to really be a thank you video, I guess. We are going to look at French Hill talking about crypto and the innovation and the digital assets of the future. And of course, he's a member of the government, so not everyone in the government is against Bitcoin, but we'll leave that towards the end, and we'll take a quick look at the charts. But this video really predominantly, I wanted to be a thank you video. I really wanted to come on and say, have a lovely Christmas to you all, and thank you. Thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for supporting me. I'm very honored and humbled to be on this journey with each and every one of you that I believe is going to change all our lives. I'm a perfect example of crypto changing someone's life thus far, and I think that opportunity awaits many of you on the other end of the screens. And before we dive into French Hill and things like that, I want to talk about technology for a second. Many of you will know my background is actually in dentistry. I have no technological background. I'm not a coder. I'm not a builder. But I'm really an observer. And getting to understand distributed ledgers, I've always understood that distributed ledgers, when I was faced with a proposition of the number not going up anymore, i.e. the speculative game not really being there because we're in a bear market in 2018, and obviously I'd followed Bitcoin since the Silk Road days, it really made me sort of have to look around and say, look, is there any reason to be here now that there's not this kind of, now that the markets are bleak? And for a lot of people, they go away because that price appreciation aspect isn't there. But for me, I really understood, and that was the time where I really understood distributed ledgers and just how huge they are and what they mean. And as I've been on this journey with distributed ledger technology, I really understood the importance of technology as a whole and how it is shaping the world that we live in, and is going to do that to the orders of magnitude more as we proceed forward. Technology is fundamentally changing your lives. You interact with it. It's a part of how you learn. It's a part of how we think. It's a part of what we do. It impacts our behaviors and everything in between. And we're moving towards this completely digitized world, which is scary, but distributed ledger technology fits in with that very nicely. And in the new year, we're going to be looking at applications of distributed ledger technology that are perhaps larger than Bitcoin. I don't see any other crypto YouTuber, if you want to call us that, that talk about this stuff. Distributed ledgers can be applied to pretty much everything. Hal Finney himself said this, the person that people, or one of the probably the best candidates for people for who they think Satoshi was. He said a global distributed database has a far wider application than a store of value. It can really be used for anything. This is Hal Finney himself saying this, which is why, Bitcoin maxis, they've understood one section of the technological revolution very well, but failed to understand many others. And often, how many chairs are you sitting on sort of arguments get thrown in with it. But I'm rambling, and I always ramble. We are moving towards a very interesting world. Distributed ledgers are going to take and play a big role. We're here to help you spot the opportunities in that changing world. And in the new year, we're going to be looking at what is perhaps a bigger use case for distributed ledgers than money or something being a store of value. Because when we think about crypto, and we're going to look at French Hill talking about it in a second, it's always applied, and the context of it being financial is always given, but actually there's a real social element to it as well, and a real kind of humanity element to it, in regards to we can actually apply distributed ledger technology to knowledge. This is a concept that we're going to be exploring. You know, we've said that we're really interested in distributed AI. We're really interested in distributed ledger computing systems, distributed ledger data storage systems, which is going to be an integral role. But actually now there's distributed ledger knowledge systems. And we've been speaking with a number of big players, including one that is and has the founder of Ethernet working with them. So this is something we're really going to explore that I'm very excited about. I think it's an amazing opportunity. And I also think has the potential to fundamentally shape humanity in the same way that Bitcoin is with finance. It's changing that sector, and it's changing how we view and interact with money. You know, the same thing can be done with information, which is kind of that next stage of the internet. And then you can put a value on information, and this is how we get the internet of value. What I've always understood is just how big this is, distributed ledgers, and the importance of me having and creating a platform to voice that. And we've done that. And 2024 is going to be huge. You know, this channel will become one of the biggest crypto-related channels that there is. We've just launched Allincrypto, which has done exceptionally well if you look at typical website stats, and we're already starting to compete with some of the smaller news outlets that have been out there for years. The podcast, you guys, most people probably don't even know we've got a podcast, but just type in Allincrypto on any of your podcast forms and you'll find us. And everything else, you know, it's all really going to explode, I think, in 2024. And hopefully you guys can be on that journey with us. And of course, financially, you know, we've been absolutely killing the markets. And we've got a lot of very happy people that can attest to that. But I've rambled on for long enough. You know, this video is really just about me saying thank you very much to each and every one of you that supported me. I've loved interacting with you. We will come up with ways where we can interact some more. You know, we're going to look to do Twitter Spaces and things like that, and maybe live AMAs for you guys in the new year. But we plan on, you know, hitting it very hard in 2024. And we're going to be taking a couple of days off to kind of coop for that. So talking a little bit about the markets, because we've waffled on about, you know, a lot of philosophical and perhaps fundamental to humanity sort of stuff. You know, this is, and do you know what? We're going to bring up the liquid Bitcoin index, and we're going to put it on a way bigger time frame. History is looking very likely to repeat. The 4-year cycle theory, I do think, is going to play out this time, but I think there's going to be perhaps different reasons to why it's played out previous times. Of course, the Bitcoin halving is definitely a factor, but this is occurring at a time when the Bitcoin supply is obviously getting cut in half, and institutions are about to start now aping into the crypto space because there'll be a regulated product to do so. CNBC actually reported on 401ks now having Bitcoin in it, and you're going to have insurance funds that get exposure to it, and hedge funds, because this is part of diversifying a portfolio. So 2024 is setting up to be an amazing year. Really what I want to love and leave you on is a quick clip of French Hill talking about digital assets being the future, and you know why he thinks this is the case. And he's talking about financial reasons, but these guys, this is the future for many reasons, not just you know, from a financial point of view, but it is also, I believe, that we just have a lot of questions about Bitcoin's origins. We think it's kind of too good to be true, and ultimately, I think the people that already control the banking system control Bitcoin. It's just my personal take. I could be totally wrong on that. But let's dive into this clip, guys, and then I'm going to wrap the video up. Love and leave you to your Christmases, and we'll be back very soon.
Let's talk about crypto for a moment. You've been working on the digital assets legislation to calm crypto to be measured at fair value under new FASB rules. Of course, we've talked about that in the last couple of weeks. What should the legislation look like? Tell us where the red lines are and what you'd like to see play out here.
Look, Web3 and blockchain and digital payments, tokenized digital payments, are the future of not only finance, but of the development on the internet. And the United States needs to be a leader in this technology, just like we've been a leader for the past 3 decades in the internet and everything that's occurred for good in commerce on the internet. So we need a regulatory framework that facilitates digital asset innovation, digital asset investment in the United States, but that we do that in a safe and sound way, that investors and consumers and inventors know what the rules of the road are, and that in the financial sector, that those are in compliance with things like Anti-Money Laundering and Bank Secrecy Act. Those are important. And we're going to get that right. In the House Financial Services Committee, we've passed in our committee a stablecoin legislation that creates tokenized payments, and we've created a regulatory framework for digital assets. Our goal is to get that passed in the House, across the House floor, early in 2024, and work with our colleagues in the Senate to do the same.
Why do we need that, Congressman, if we have things like, I don't know, you've got a ton of digital payment options right now on the market?
We do. You have real-time payments. Everybody knows about Zelle and Venmo, and we're going to go to 24-hour, 7-day a week clearance with the Fed for real-time payments. This is about taking the dollar, putting it in a stable coin form so that it can be used internationally as a tokenized payment on a blockchain. So it's not the same thing as a real-time payment that we have through our bank account. We have a big, highly developed payment systems in the U.S., but this will be very beneficial, I think, in certain applications around the world, and using the dollar as the principal currency on the blockchain, I think, is an important development that will help the U.S. keep us supreme in financial services and technology.
And I think he very clearly sums up why I think I've got questions about Bitcoin's origins, because the dollar system is the system. It's the global reserve currency system. It's controlled by the Federal Reserve, which is a privately owned institution. Look at who controls that. They're the same people that set it up back in 1920-something, after they failed with the Archibald Bill. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole, although he's very much talking about dollar and stuff that's perhaps the opposition team to what we're on. The world is moving towards blockchains, and we are at a very early stage of that, and we want to make sure people don't miss out on it. On that note, guys, I'm going to love and leave you. Have a great Christmas. We'll be back in a couple of days, and I hope you will get the time off that you need. And yeah, get ready for an exciting 2024, guys. See you in the next one.